Hi there, I'm Dean Heskin, President and CEO of Swiss America Trading, and you are tuned into our podcast, The Secret War on Cash, named after actually our most requested report we've ever offered here in the 40, was it 43, 44 years now as a company. The Secret War Report. If you have not received this yet, you should contact our office. You can call us at 1-800-289-2646, or you can text us at that very same number as well. Visit us online as well at www.swissamerica.com. I have with me my co-host Chris Agelastos here today. Chris, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, you're looking good, and let's get right into it. We've got a lot going on in the world right now. Not a lot of it seems like fantastic. Put it that way.
It depends on what
Um,
you're looking at. Yeah.
I mean, as you know, I am probably to a fault a glass half full person, but the definitely is a lot of stuff. It's like, ooh, this doesn't seem like it's fantastic. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're going to start off with King World News here. The title here, the latest from the big boys on the gold market. And they got good old Gordon Gekko from the movie Wall Street. Greed is good. And when I saw this actually, I was like, good Lord, he was young once upon a time. Can't believe
Yeah.
that just shows you how old that movie actually is.
A lot of years
Um,
ago.
a lot of years ago. So the big boys on the gold market, the latest from them, the big boys he's referring to the big banks and
Yep.
what banks are saying and banks are doing and what their slant of perspective is. In this case, as the title says, on the gold market. So, Chris, I'm going to use that as your intro and let us know what's going on in the gold market. And the same thing applies to silver, I'm sure, but let us have it.
Yeah. So the banks, for a lot of years have always been, I don't know if I want to say anti-gold, right? But they really, they don't talk it up. They try to avoid it, recommend, nothing to maybe 2% in somebody's portfolio. And a lot of that has changed over the last couple of years. And now you have them coming out and making, actually reasonable predictions. You've got Goldman Sachs in this article is predicting 5,400 for the end of 2026, which is actually a very, very safe kind of conservative prediction. In fact, they call it a forecast rather than a target, to kind of say, this is a little bit of what we're expecting, but then they follow up with, we expect very strong upside risk, meaning they really expect it to hit 5,400 and go past pretty easily. JP Morgan took a little bit more of a strong stance and is expecting around 6,300, which makes sense. It would be about another 20% gain this year, which is actually conservative compared to the 50+% we saw in 2025. So they're finally coming out and saying, hey, maybe you should have 20% of your portfolio in intangibles. And a lot of people are speculating here now too is that JP Morgan has long been known to be shorting the physical silver market, and people believe they finally released those positions a few weeks ago when we saw silver prices come down a little bit and since then rebound. So it seems like maybe the big banks are actually finally falling into place and giving us real information and explaining the benefits of physical gold and silver.
Right. Well, and I mean, it is nice to hear them saying, you know, basically singing a different tune at this point,
Yeah.
because, this certainly has not always been the case. I mean, there's definitely, like the article says here, the big banks from gold deniers to gold buyers. And that's really true,
Yeah.
where they were as anti-gold as you could find. And like, at some point, how do you still take that position when you look at what, again, the central banks, governments, and everyone else throughout the world is doing, A, but B, what the performance has been in the metals market, and then C, look at the all the uncertainty that continues to build, and it just continues to spiral out of control. If not now, when? This is the time to
Right.
do it. That's where, let's go into the next article here. It's also from King World News, and this is a warning where these two indicators just hit all-time record highs. And I'll let you get into this one as well, but kind of like a spoiler alert, you're basically talking about debt and spending, and that's been an
Yeah.
issue. It's been an issue forever, but it's becoming an issue, like, a very severe mathematical issue. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, they're talking here about global government debt reaching an all-time record, $29 trillion. 29 trillion added in 2025, taking the total, and that's just what they added, taking total world debt to about 348 trillion. We could probably call that 350 trillion at this point,
Yeah,
which
by
is
in 20 minutes, when once things,
by the
you
time
know,
this podcast airs,
we'll be
it's
safely over that.
yeah, and U.S. Federal government spending too, as a percentage of GDP, hit a record high of 26%. That's surpassing historical averages from like the last 60 years. I think they touched on here. So, look, spending is out of control. It's not just in the United States; it's all over the world. All of the big governments, and this is I think it really highlights that whether you're in the U.S. or you're overseas, maybe in Europe, governments are really good at spending other people's money, the taxpayers' money, and they're really bad at sticking to budgets. I mean, actually, a lot of them, they don't even make budgets anymore, so there's nothing for them to even try to stick to, and it's out of control. There's really nothing here showing that they're trying to rein it in. You may hear them talk about it a little bit, hit some of the talking points like we're trying to reduce spending, eliminate waste. But usually that's just a code word for if we cut here, we're going to take that, add to it, and spend it somewhere else.
Oh, 100%.
Somewhere where they deem more important. So it's at the end of the day, what they really hit on here is that it's weakening all of these nations' currencies, our fiat currencies, and that's part of the big push shifting investors towards hard assets like gold and silver.
Yeah. Well, and I often wonder that too. Like I mean, there certainly are those elected officials out there that will lobby for decreased spending and
Mhm.
better oversight and things of that nature. It never happens, and the challenge there, like you kind of touched on it too, is like it seems like more often than not, even those who are saying, talking that talk, let's say, at the end of the day, all they're looking to do is take, let's just say they save $10 here. They just want that $10 to spend it over here. It's not like they're trying to
Yeah.
eliminate that $10 expenditure. And
Yeah.
I often wonder, like with these elected officials, I know that everybody's different, but like if there really are a good number of them out there that are just that clueless when it comes to money, the budget. I mean, if it's just not even a concern of theirs, if they're just talking, I mean, they literally are talking in terms of monopoly money and how they conduct
Right.
themselves.
Yep.
And it just is, it speaks to, the problem that we have in this country, and that, at a time where, again, governments and countries are unloading our debt and unloading our dollars, et cetera. We're doing nothing to give them an excuse to stop doing that. If anything, we're giving them an excuse to do more of that. And we kind of have to, because we have put ourselves in a position where the only thing we can do is kind of spend our way out of it, if anything. And that's not gonna it's not gonna work, because there's better options with gold. There's better options with what could be this new BRICS currencies, and other
Mhm.
other banking type processes or methodologies that they're pursuing right now. And but at the end of the day, it's not looking too great for the United States of America on this front. So,
No,
all right, well, there you
unfortunately
have it.
not.
No. All right, Chris. Well, thank you. If anybody wants to learn more about gold, silver, or the secret war on cash, what can they do?
Just call or text 1-800-289-2646. You can also go to SwissAmerica.com. We've got a little button up there in the right hand side of the screen where you can request info. There's actually a few spots on the site, but we'd be happy to get some info off to you, maybe set an appointment, just to kind of explain some of the basics and figure out how we can help you.
All right. Well, there you go. Thank you for tuning in. And for those of you who are listening and not subscribed yet to our podcast, please do so, as we'd love to talk to you more in the future. Other than that, have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Take care.